All right, the name of this presentation is Stop Chasing Gimmicks and Start Building Your Base. And the reason why that we wanted to put this together is we have so many people that come in on a regular basis that are actually doing, unfortunately, what we would call somewhat gimmicky stuff. And if you really want long-term success with health or fitness, you really have to build a strong foundation. And what I want to do is just share some basic, fundamental, foundational principles with you that if you're consistent with these things, you can really dramatically change your physiology, how you look, how you feel, how you perform. So what I'm going to do is just share this presentation with you. I'll bring up my screen and we'll just kind of go through this presentation together. And the first thing we're looking at, of course, is overwhelmed with new plans. Unfortunately, today people are, kind of plan jumping, and so if you really want to build some consistency, then you really have to make sure that you find a good, sound, structured program, and then stick with the program. So building a stronger foundation is a lot more effective than chasing from strategy to strategy or plan to plan, method to method. So while there is countless diets and workouts available, the true progress that you're going to make is actually going to come from just a few proven principles that drive lasting results. And so don't get caught up with the method. Get caught up with building good, strong fundamentals because fundamentals and foundations are always going to make you successful in terms of changing your physiology in a positive manner. So when we talk about principles over gimmicks, so there's a great saying that I learned a long time ago from one of my mentors, and he said, methods are many, but principles are few. So a lot of times to make things more palatable with nutrition or fitness, a lot of times these gurus or these people that are putting together these methods, they'll come up with new terminology or a little spin just to make it more creative and more palatable for the average person. There's so many people that get bored with nutrition or exercise. They're looking for the magic bullet, and there's no magic bullet. We always have to get back to fundamentals because fundamentals, they just flat out work. So although you're probably going to have, maybe your attention captured by some of these methods, if you want true, long-lasting results, then you have to pay attention to building that strong base or the strong foundation. So make sure when you um, get involved with a program that you focus on long-term sustainable progress. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is focusing on the building blocks. So you start with foundation, like level one, and then you actually have to learn or you have to earn level two. So then you keep building from those blocks, and that's how you build a very healthy and strong body. So we want to prioritize high value strategies. So investing your time and energy in strategies, what we take a look at is if our unit of time is X, are we getting the most value for our investment of time and energy? So pay attention to those things, and you're always going to get more value on good, strong fundamentals. So this is really why gimmicks fail, is gimmicks distract from proven practices that deliver real and lasting results. So what it does is it undermines your progress and stability. And again, what they're really trying to do is, get people that might um, have a challenge sticking with programs. They're trying to give you more variety or spice things up, and it just doesn't last. So inconsistency and unstable routines, constantly shifting strategies prevent the creation of strong, reliable routines necessary for growth and improvement. So again, if you're hopping from program to program, you're never truly going to get results. So it's important, again, to make sure that you're focusing on principles, laws, rules, and principles that will never ever change. And we're going to talk about some of those as we move on. But the illusion of progress, and gimmicks may appear productive, but the true measure of progress and measurement is really difficult when you're dealing with kind of gimmicky things. But if we lock into these proven principles and foundational strategies, then you can easily start to gauge the improvements because we'll probably have more measurables. So, for instance, with exercise, uh, if you're only able to squat to a certain depth, you're going to, as you start to master the movement of a squat and get down where you're squatting all the way on your haunches, like literally your butt to your calves. And that's how the human body is designed to function. And if you can't do that without pain, question is we have to ask is why are you in pain? Because there's some level of dysfunction in your body that's not allowing you to do that. So that's one of the things, it's measurable. So if you can't quite get your thighs to a parallel position, then we can measure that. So as we start to get lower and lower, then you can start to see this basic fundamental movement pattern that you're doing a squat. Remember, our bodies are designed to be able to do a full squat. You look at a third world country, people are moving their ball from a full squat, they're cooking from a full squat, they're hanging out or working from a full squat, everything. They don't have toilets. They're moving their balls from a full squat. So we are designed to be able to squat where our hamstring or the back of the thighs touch the calves, like it's a rock bottom squat. And if we can't do that, then we have to ask why. Why have we lost that ability? Great fundamental foundational approach when it comes to fitness. We're going to cover some of those things as we move on. Puppy yoga, goat yoga, these are just gimmicky things. Yoga is designed to put your body in specific postures, and then it's really centered around connecting the mind and the body through breath work. Breathing is the bridge between the mind and the body. So it's when we really focus on our breath work, that's when we can really control our physiology. We can control our nervous system. So, one could argue like, oh, goat yoga or puppy yoga, at least it's going to get people exercising that might not be as inclined to exercise. Yeah, that's a positive thing. But if you're looking for long-term sustained results, then we have to get serious and we have to do things that are, really designed to move the needle forward. Because again, this is about long-term sustainable improvements over time. And again, it's the allocation of time and energy. Am I getting the most value for my investment, right? So in terms of different pillars, if we look at pillar one, it's just whole foods, minimally processed whole foods, eating real foods. That's going to help you maintain satiety. It's going to allow you to have stable blood sugar, reduces inflammation in the body. What we have to think about is anything that induces stress on the body is not a good thing. So a lot of times when we're dealing with clients and they've got certain symptomologies that just don't seem to go away, one of the first places we look at is what are they eating? Because what are they eating or sometimes what are they drinking? These are things that your body looks at as a stressor. So it can be emotional stress, it can be food stress, electrochemical stress. There's so many different stressors, heavy metals, it's not just when people think of stress, they think of the emotional component, which today is very prevalent in most people's lives. You know, where there's a lot more things that are creating stress in their lives, but we have to look at this all-encompassing in this holistic approach where we look at the multitudes of stressors. And that's really what knocks people out of alignment and gets people either where they're in pain or they've got some sort of dysfunction in their body. So we want to think about, you know, as far as the tips for eating healthy, choose foods from the earth, trees, animals. Consistency with these choices is more important than perfection. So, you know, just looking at, you know, when you go to the grocery store, shopping on the outside aisles, would it be optimal for you to eat organic? Yes, because we've got greater nutrient value and we don't have the toxic load. But I'd rather have you eat a non-organic fruit or vegetable rather than something that came from a box bag or wrapper and had tons of preservatives in it. So it's good, it's better, and it's best, right? So we want to take a look at our daily nutritional checklist, protein in every meal, eat colorful fiber. We want to hydrate, you know, obviously, general rule of thumb is have your body weight in ounces of water. So I'm about 200 pounds, and so I need about 100 ounces of water. So with the water, I want to make sure I've got sufficient electrolytes. We look at our electrolytes, we have our sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, and then we have our other micro trace elements. But we definitely want to make sure we're getting sufficient electrolytes to make sure the water is going where it belongs, and that's into the cell. We can drink plenty of water and be electrolyte insufficient, meaning we're not getting enough electrolytes. And your water, you're basically just going to urinate it out. So you're not getting it to where it belongs, which is in the cell. So you could drink sufficient water and still not be hydrated at a cellular level. So we got to factor all these things into it. Now, in the next video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the rest of the pillars so we can actually identify from a foundational perspective, what are you integrating right now or what you might have to integrate to optimize your success down the road. So look forward to that video that I'll put out on Thursday, where I'll go through the rest of the pillars. I'll talk about some of the key components we need with exercise and some of the variables that go in with that. So if you've got something that you'd really like to see us cover, please respond. Let us know. You can text us at the office, 952-220-7201 if there's a particular area you want us to talk about. Or if you're talking with one of us here in the office and you're just like, yeah, I'd really like to learn about X, we can start to cover some of these things. So hopefully you get some good information on that. Until I see you in the next video, go out, make it a great day. You certainly do deserve it.